You have to search and find people that are able to bind together to solve problems. And I feel that with the Creative Society, I have found a group of people who share the same.
Mainly because of that, because, it was like a puzzle. After finishing watching this 12 hours, this forum, finally I got this puzzle picture done, this holistic view, this holistic picture of what is really happening with the planet, what is really happening with climate, or why do we have such increase of climate cataclysms, what is happening with the core of our planet. But mainly, it was this understanding that yes, this is what is happening, and that's horrible. And even for me, it was very shocking that, for example, media, they do not present this information. They tell us that climate change either does not exist, or it's something, it will pass as everything, because we had some climate changes also in the past, but life moves on and then everything is okay. But this time it is different. We already know that we are entering the 12,000 cycle, and due to that, climate is changing. So, in order to tell people truthfully, okay, we have this situation, and to solve this problem, they are just lying to us, because media right now doesn't belong to humanity. But this forum is the highest value. Because we understand that this consumerist format, it's just the end of everything, and we cannot prolong like this. So, Tim, I would also like to ask you: so, what topics touch you the most during the forum?
Well, obviously, the climate change and seeing the different scientific approach than what you hear in the mainstream media. And I think what you said is an extremely important point, that we've been lied to for so long. It's difficult to trust. Nobody trusts politicians. Nobody trusts the media. Are coming from scientists of all fields and openly discussing these and allowing people to challenge the ideas. That's when we could start to build trust. Because the opposite is what we see mainstream media doing, which is lying and then canceling anybody who disagrees. Right? So,
yes, unfortunately, we saw so many examples, and even during the previous forum, global crisis, where people want to live, how some scientists with alternative vision, but not actual alternative, but about a real vision of the climate, because they have facts on their hands. They study it thoroughly themselves, and how they just was ignored by some editorial boards of scientific journals, or some other bad tools were addressed to them, and some of them are not even with us. And we have also heard on this forum how true scientists, they need to hide their names, because if they will come to people and tell about them openly, they might lose their positions and might lose everything, because they not go with this mainstream science, so-called this 90% or 100%, 99.9% of consensus about climate. But like the real reasons, the real facts, the causes, they are not discussed thoroughly. It's a question: is it really a science then? How we can actually be really? It's a question: is it really a science then? How we can actually believe and so on. But I don't know. Maybe they are just afraid to look into the eyes of reality, or they are just could not. Maybe these facts are not fit their picture of the world, worldview. What do you think, as an educator, or as a person who maybe have done a lot of research in this area and who understand it, how to explain to people something that we, that's really true, but not so accepted in the society because of many reasons, and we can really discuss. But how to really address this point and explain it to people?
Well, I think you mentioned it before. It's clearly the consumer society. It's that it's the consumer society that causes that. It's the wealth and power driven sort of egoism that these main politicians, billionaires, the people that are really pulling the strings at the top. And that's one thing that I've really driven me into the creative society, is that there is so much more of a bottom-up approach, where it's about the people and the people building and uniting and making the difference. Whereas the old approach is top down.
Exactly. That's something what you like about the creative society. It's transparency, and that's everything what is done by people. And actually, every power is in people. Real power is people, and our real power is in unity. And as you already know, so there are 3 stages of building the creative society. And right now we are on the first stage of building the creative society, which is information stage. So what do we have to do right now? It is very important to inform people about this project, about this format, so that they would get this information. It is important to talk to people, to explain them why is creative society beneficial, what kind of benefits they will receive there.
The scientific world, we have, atoms that unite to create cells, and cells unite to create organs, and organs unite to create systems, and systems create the body, and so everything in the universe requires unity. And humanity is basically a system within the world. We're like an organ of the planet. So how can we gather people together to keep this organ healthy? I think that first is acknowledging the errors that are happening, the confusion, or maybe we can start to look at the creative society as looking from the holistic point, and bringing everyone together to solve a problem, rather than, again, this small group trying to change things to suit what they want. I think with education, this has a lot to do with just learning to be creative in education itself, and seeing them as the one that has the answer. We build the individual trust in themselves, the students, to be able to find solutions themselves. Because if they can find a solution themselves, then the solution that's being given to them from the person in power may not necessarily be the only solution. And that's where I think we can start to take that more analytical approach, and not necessarily just follow what is being told to us.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I really like this, really love this example, actually, because, example from the biological world, when we actually look at how the whole nature is structured, right? How it's not be functional, and the same with brain. So it's could not be somehow be independent or dictate for the whole organism, but unfortunately we see it in our society, and that's also a very important topic, because unfortunately we did not get used to these self-governments when we, for example, will take decision on place. And this topic is also very important, lack of power, right? So the power, or people who have power right now currently, they decides for the whole region, for the whole countries, sometimes for the whole world. And but you could not know as a human, as a person, right? You could not know all the details that should people actually know on place.
Today, everyone claims that your future depends entirely on you. But is this really the case? Is your opinion always really considered? Not to mention that simply expressing your opinion today can be risky or life-threatening. If you want to change something in society, how realistic is it to do so? Yes, we can elect those who supposedly stand for the slogans that coincide with our desires. But when our elected politicians come to power, they embody some life. Today, we have a representative democracy. That's when we elect representatives and hand over power to them, and they decide how we should live and manage our wealth, money, natural resources, and our lives. In the creative society, power will be in the hands of people themselves, and they will be able to directly exercise it by making decisions on the electoral platform. Because people will become the legislative body. Every day, people will live more comfortably, more prosperously, and more securely, with full confidence in the future. For example, Anna, a woman of 38, a wife, mother of 2, online. Now, Anna's opinion will actually matter. It will be taken into account immediately, since voting takes place right there on the platform in electronic format. The application will be easy to use, simple, and intuitive for everyone. Designed for user convenience and fully protected against the possibility of result falsification. The most important thing is that Anna will spend no more than 30 minutes a week to vote on the platform. She will be able to read the current agenda while sitting in a cafe while her children are playing sports, simply ticking yes or no next to each question, the intermediaries, and move to effective self-government. What is self-government? Self-government is, in fact, direct decision-making by the people. You will make the laws and decide which ones are acceptable to you and which ones are not. Any initiative to improve people's lives will be welcomed. The initiative can be local, state, or global. Experts develop and propose laws, options for solutions, and implementation of what people want, and of how exactly it will affect your life. What will guarantee the efficiency of self-government? It's very simple. First, a law on the electoral platform must be passed. It will secure the right of the individual to make proposals and pass laws. It also legislates the electoral platform as a mechanism for implementing such a right. Thus, the individual participates directly without intermediaries in making decisions and laws. Putting the 8 foundations of the creative society into the Constitution and following them steadfastly guarantees the effectiveness of self-government. These are the most basic norms of human and social life. All other legislation must correspond to these norms that are open for a vote. And in order to make a decision, she only needs to answer her own question. How much will this improve my life? And give the answer yes or no. Won't Anna figure out what's good for her? Of course she will. For example, Anna had 2 bills on the ballot to allow houses to be built at the water's edge or not. The main point of each bill will be briefly and clearly stated with all the explanations for and against. The first bill suggests building houses not closer than 200 meters from the shore, taking into account the preservation of the environment, making their own decisions, because it will affect the improvement of their lives. Of course, all the complex issues must be worked out by specialists. Any initiative is first considered from the point of view, how will it affect a person's life? Simple and clear expert offers are developed. You may ask, how will implementation be controlled? It will be simple, transparent, and will be carried out on the same electoral platform. All those who have power over us now In other words, politicians will be responsible doers in the creative society, and nothing more than that. They will have no privilege, no exemptions, and no immunity. The law will work the same for everyone. If they fail, they will be subject to recall at any time. When a politician loses power, he automatically becomes a doer. He becomes an employee of society through the electoral platform. How will issues be dealt with at the international level, you ask? There will no longer be an international level. Humanity will become a united people. Everywhere, in any part of the world, there will be one law, one time zone, and decent living conditions for everyone. Now we are divided into countries, nationalities, states. In the creative society, national culture, history, and traditions will be preserved, but at the same time will be united. All this will rule out wars and any conflicts. A united civilization opens up a new phase in the evolution of humanity and prospects for rapid development. The creative society is a bright future for every
society. It's very simple, because like with the development of the whole technologies that we have nowadays available, that we are all interconnected using internet, using other means of communication. It's actually not a problem anymore to decide for ourselves. It's not a problem anymore to really make the world self-government. Like when we all will decide for ourselves, when we, simple humans, will be in power and in power of taking the decisions. Because currently we know, like when, for example, some laws get prepared, so also politicians are sitting together with experts, but in the end, the politicians decide for the whole humanity. Of course, we delegate the rights to them, we select them for some period of time, but aren't we able just to make this evolutionary step? Because it's really a simple evolution. Before it was really hard to communicate, and it was also like a bit not possible really to spread this idea. But now we have everything in our hands, and they holding the decision just lies on us.
Thank you so much, Alex. Indeed, it is like that, how you mentioned, and what we've seen from the video, it takes only 30 minutes per week, just to click and choose, okay, I want this, I don't like this. So it's an electoral demand for politicians, so that they will know, okay, so people want this, people do not want to live in this consumerist format of society, but they want creative society. And then we will vote for that politician who will implement 8 foundations of the creative society, and also who will enact this electoral platform. Yes, and Tim, I would also like to ask you, because the forum was mostly about these benefits of the creative society, about technologies, about this prosperous world that awaits us there. So what would you like, what did you like the most? What kind of technologies inspired you, or what kind of benefits inspire you that you will get in the creative society?
Identities and things like that, I think, are what really makes it possible. So it's very exciting. I think I really hope this is where it ends up going, because this is the great vision, and this is what will really empower the people and allow us to get that bottom-up approach implemented.
Yeah, and it's you just said about blockchain, about these technologies, just remind me about one conversation that we have with our informational partners of Creative Society, people who already support and broadcast our video, talk about them as a bloggers and so on. A lot of ways how everything can be hacked, even these cryptocurrencies, and how they are protected. If you have like enough bots, enough system that can attack these, it can be also be influenced. But like everything should just be decided by experts, like in all spheres of life in creative society. So experts should be really deep in topic and provide the most possible solution, because the most secure, most acceptable, because it's really one of the crucial points that right now, if they're working for some big tech organization, in the world for governments of the future, and what actually separates us currently from this picture that not everyone is aware of creative society. And I would like just to ask you, Tim, what are your experience, what are your example of sharing information about creative society?
As I share creative society, it's interestingly, it's mostly people who are, and allowing us to have more control in that sense of our own development and responsibility in our own development. And so when people see this, of course, there's always a bit of skepticism. Unfortunately, with, as we talked about in the beginning, with how much society has been lied to and media has lied to us, there always is a little skepticism. But I always point them to the website. I share videos and
to clarify them this and that. And mainly, I think the most important thing is that people should understand what awaits them in the creative society, what kind of benefits they will get in the creative society. Yesterday I was talking to my mom and she told me I watched the video from the forum. It was like housewives and their lives in the consumerist format and in the creative society. And she told me, I feel the same. I have the same. Every day I'm doing the same things. I don't even have time for myself. I cannot read book because I have kids. I have to, take care of the family, do this and that. But I really want to live in the creative society, because I really want to have time for myself. I want to do something heard of the creative society. So she told me even though I do not have that much time, but every time I have a possibility, I talk to people about the creative society. So that's how it is happening, that people talk everywhere where they have chance and possibility.
Yes, and it's also the ways how we can share this information is also something that a person should decide for himself. What is the most more clear and more understandable way for him to explain to people about creative society, right? That maybe just a T-shirt that you have, for example, right now, Tim, or that you just watch because they're also interested. What is going on? And it's also very important just to really approach people, explain to them, use every possibility. For example, the guy who bring you pizza if you order it, right? And you can explain to him about it. You can talk to your hairdresser, friseur, how you can actually build a creative society. What is it about? Have you heard about it? Just simple question, because everyone have their own issues in our current world, but we can really eliminate all of this using creative society. We just need to start talking about it, start sharing these ideas. And it's also very important by bringing up examples, because, for example, we see these examples every day, but, you should be example for yourself, for your friends, for your family.
Right now, we don't have to come up with problems. They're already there. And so the creative society comes up very easily when it comes to solutions. Well, here's the problem, and maybe somebody has a complaint about the problem. And I just bring up, well, have you seen the creative society? They have many solutions to this problem. And that is probably for me the way that it has been the most common and has worked well.
Yeah, and it's also nice that, in order to have this examination, and then you can just sit with your friends, for example, in the area that live or in the city, and just do a brainstorming. I mean, what can we do on our place? Should we all maybe, I don't know, just come to the people at some place and just tell about it, share these newspapers, or maybe we can order some I don't know, something. We have thought, for example, in Germany to also to come to particular places. So it's also very typical. Discuss with you if they're interested, or you can just tell about people just on the street. And it's absolutely very cool approach that you come to the people, right? And it's also like doing these brainstorms. It brings a lot of ideas, and that's also what really inspires. And taking the opportunity, I would like also to tell that if you have questions, dear viewers, if you have questions to us regarding Creative Society, regarding steps of building the Creative Society, you can approach us using all of our social networks that you see right now. We have an email and we have our website that you can just visit. Maybe your question is already answered, or if you have one, please write us on the email you see in the screen.
Yes, Alex, thank you so much. And I also wanted to add it that, about the benefits of the Creative Society. So there are many, many ways how to spread this information. And what I love about it is that a person can be very creative and, just do something what he or she likes and involve the Creative Society within that.
Yeah, it's really true that everything, there are no borders in creativity, and it's also very great. Tim, I would like to ask you the questions of what is your maybe last message to the viewers? What do you want to reach them, and call to action?
Call to action. Well, I would say to really look into what the Creative Society is all about. And though it's difficult at times to imagine a society that we've never seen before, look into the practical application of it. Try to envision what is being proposed, how it will benefit the entire world. It's really, in a sense, like the evolution of society itself. We've been one way for too long. Thousands of years it's been one way, and it hasn't really helped us evolve. So the only way that we can do this is in the unity, in the growth of us all together, and
the viewers are the friends. If you would like to take part in such international discussion, please do not hesitate to contact us on info@creativesociety.com, or you can also write us on our official website, creativesociety.com. We would love to hear from you because every individual matters, and this is a global project that concerns us all. Thank you so much. Team, Alex, gentlemen, thank you so much for such a live and inspiring discussion.